Hello, dear fans, friends, and subscribers. Welcome to your cricket happening show with your host Ram. Well, I do apologize that I was not able to bring the cricket show yesterday due to lots of work, which I couldn't really find time. So that's the reason I'm coming a bit early today, and I'm going to as far as today's cricket happening show is concerned, it's just one topic, and I'm going to preview the Chappell Hadlee Trophy Series, which is going to kick off. I mean, as you know, this is a traditional clash between the Trans Tasman neighbours, Australia and New Zealand, and I'm going to preview that very meaty clash that is going to happen with both the sides meeting after time where on both the sides, I would say, there are big players, not missing, basically, big players have retired. As you know, in Australia's side, Michael Clark, Shane Watson, the New Zealand side, Brendan McCullum, Daniel Vettori, a lot of names and some injury worries for New Zealand as well. So I'm going to preview the Trans Tasman clash between Australia and New Zealand with the first of the Chappell Hadlee Trophy Series, the one day international, actually taking place at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Well, so just starting, so it's only going to be a preview today. And talking about the preview, well, as far as the pitch and the conditions are concerned, well, one would remember last when a one day international was played here, in Virat Kohli, India actually chased down a big total against the Aussies to actually bring them down. It was 331 chase that India did it very successfully, as you would remember. So one would expect a lot of batting to be a part of this particular game, and also there could be a bit of turn too. It's a Sydney cricket ground. So let's have a look at the Australian, the home team first here. The Australian home team, well, they are definitely they just came up with a boost of confidence when they finally managed to stop the South Africans in their tracks in the Test series, whereby they picked up a win by making large-scale changes. Now, but the one day is something that Australia have been strong. They also did a good job against Sri Lanka, as you know, and Australia definitely in one day territory. I think they are much stronger. And so let's have a look at the Australian teams. Well, they have that explosive opening combination. David Warner opening with Aaron Finch, and we all knows that David Warner is such a wonderful player. I mean, he will just start off the blocks in a flash. And Aaron Finch is another real dasher. And as I said, if David Warner and Aaron Finch could actually click together, I think the Kiwis are going to find it very difficult to control this very powerful batting pair. So they were definitely looking out for something of that sort when Australia start their first of the Chappell Hadlee Trophy series. And Stephen Smith is the captain. Stephen Smith is definitely one who is not only the captain in all the formats now, but also, I mean, to in addition to being a very good leader, he always leads from the front with the bat. As far as George Bailey is concerned, he's really termed as a one-day specialist. He can chip in with some very good innings at coming in at number two. And Mitchell Marsh. Now they have a lot of all-rounders as far as Australia are concerned. Mitchell Marsh is a wonderful all-rounder. He will contribute immensely. Travis Head. Now, as you know, recently, I'm not going to go into those details. I really steer clear of controversy here. Glenn Maxwell made some statement about Matthew Wade, and there was a bit of a so one is. I have a strong feeling that even the Australian team has taken strongly to that, and he has also been fined. So I have a strong feeling that Glenn Maxwell might be sitting out this match. And Travis Head who did well in Sri Lanka by making some very useful contributions, would be taking his place. Matthew Wade, I want us to say Matthew Wade definitely, after Glenn Maxwell made some remarks about Matthew Wade, whether all's well with Matthew Wade, the wicketkeeper. The bowling will be in the hands of Mitchell Starc and Josh Hazard, absolutely fresh. We saw what rest has done to Mitchell Starc and Josh Hazelwood in that South African, even though they lost. But definitely they did their job pretty well, especially Mitchell Starc and Josh Hazelwood too, not far behind. And they would be Pat Cummins. There is going to be some real scorching pace coming up on both the sides. I'll be talking about New Zealand as well. They also have one very, very promising guy who bowls at times at 150 clicks. So Pat Cummins is another one who has been in and out of the side. As we have seen, all the express pace bowlers, like we can talk about Shoaib Akhtar of Pakistan, we can talk about Pat Cummins, who's not been a regular on the side just because of his injury. Now Pat Cummins is back, so there'll be definitely raw pace available for Australia. And Adam Zampa, very, very much improved leg spinner, who really has been found that he's one who's a very, very handy man to have as far as Australia is concerned. Now, as far as New Zealand are concerned, New Zealand, well, one thing that I would really say here, as I said, after Brendan McCullum's retirement from international cricket, I would say that New Zealand are definitely minus here, because his firepower was something which was something magnificent, and he is someone who could really scorch the turf with his strokes there. But well, it's all over. So Brendan McCullum is not there. So it's going to be very interesting. I think the opening firepower is definitely missing, because New Zealand were getting some electric starts from the bat of Brendan McCullum, and he's missing. So definitely they'll have to do with what they have. So Martin Guptill is one who is, he's in one-day international. Well, he holds the highest score in ODI history of 237, as you would remember, no doubt. In the West Indies, I reckon. I don't really remember the team, but he made 237 for sure. Now that is something that Australia will be quite aware of. And Martin Guptill, now Brendan McCullum was something purely dynamic, but Martin Guptill also is an aggressive player, and but one does not know whether Martin Guptill will be able to really ring in his strokes. That's going to be interesting. So Tom Latham, who is also a very compact player. We saw against India how he actually nurtured the New Zealand innings, and that is what he's going to be there for. He's the one probably holding the innings. So Tom Latham and Martin Guptill will open the innings. As I said, they are definitely lacking some firepower, and it is Martin Guptill really opens up. Kane Williamson, the captain, such a wonderful player to watch, and when he strokes, I would say it's poetry in motion here. Henry Nicholls is another one who can really play, who can really stay put there, and also come up with some very good strokes. But I would say Henry Nicholls is basically learning right now. Now Colin Munro, who was not there against Pakistan, is back. So Colin Munro is another very explosive player. He really likes to go over the top. And Colin Munro, to me, with Brendan McCullum missing, I would really say one would fix our eyes on Colin Munro. Could be an explosive player there. James Neesham is a very useful all-rounder and utility player for New Zealand. And then BJ Watling is another one who is the specialist wicketkeeper, and he's one of those wonderful wicketkeepers that New Zealand have right now. And as I said, they have done away with Luke Ronchi. Now Luke Ronchi is, he's such an aggressive bloke. He's missing, but I understand. But what BJ Watling is a better keeper than Luke Ronchi. And BJ Watling, well, one wouldn't say that BJ Watling can play aggressively, but nevertheless, he's someone who could really rotate the strike and probably get the other men to really hit the ball, and he could really nurture the singles and twos. Mitchell Santner, a wonderful all-rounder to have. He has just returned back, on the last match against Pakistan, and one knows that Mitchell Santner could play a key role, whether it be with the bat, with the ball, or with the field. He's going to be very handy. So and then it will be this is the one that, as I said, Australia and New Zealand are looking evenly matched. Tim Southee and Trent Boult will be the one who would be operating in tandem as far as the opening bowling attack is concerned, and they really form a great pair, no doubt about it. They hunt in pairs, and as far as New Zealand are concerned, now Colin de Granholm, as you would remember, did a fantastic job against Pakistan when he actually made his test debut by picking up a fifer, and Colin de Granholm was also shown that he could be a very useful one-day and a T20 batsman. I mean, there's no doubt about it, because he likes to play aggressively, and that's what you want in one-day cricket. And now it is going to be very interesting. They have Tim Southee and Trent Boult. They have the spinners center. They have Neesham to bowl, and now whether there is going to be Colin de Granholm, who would also bring the batting, but Matt Henry, compared to Colin de Granholm, one could say that Matt Henry is a good bowler, but basically his batting, if it goes for an all-rounder, it will be Colin de Granholm, but whether New Zealand will be forced to actually really unleash one of those very promising guys from New Zealand. One is, I mean, he's a rookie, basically, so it will be like a surprise packet for the Aussies here, because Lockie Ferguson has been selected, and he's an uncapped guy, and he bowls, as I said, certain times he could hit 150 clicks. So Lockie Ferguson could be someone who could be really pacey, and in Australian wickets you need someone with some raw pace as well. Whether New Zealand will also toe the line of the Aussies, where Cummins is another one who has that raw pace, whether Lockie Ferguson would be unleashed on the Aussies. I have a strong feeling that Colin de Granholm will be the one who will be playing. Lockie Ferguson might have to wait, but one never knows. As I said, Lockie Ferguson could still be playing, could be still in the mix. But as I said, it's a batting pitch, and what are they going to do? It is going to be interesting. Well, the forecast is very good. It's going to be played on a Sunday, on a public holiday, and I'm sure the Aussie crowds are going to flock the Sydney Cricket Ground, no doubt about it. And what a wonderful picture that is going to be when the first of the Chappell Hadlee Trophy Series kicks off at the Sydney Cricket Ground between these two Trans Tasman neighbours, Australia and New Zealand. Well, that's it, my dear friends and subscribers of Cricket Happenings. Do apologize that I could not come with my cricket broadcast yesterday, so that's the reason I came up a bit early and thought that I would just preview the first one-day international match of the Chappell Hadlee Trophy Series, the traditional clash between the Trans Tasman neighbours. One hopes that one really has a cracker of a game, and I think one would be really glued to their TV sets to actually watch this powerful spectacle happen at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Well, on this note, it's about time for me to drop the lid on this cricket show for today. Hope you all enjoyed this broadcast of mine, and tomorrow I'll be there to actually do a report on the first of the Chappell Hadlee Trophy Series between Australia and New Zealand. Till such time, this is your host Ram saying goodbye.